Did you know that big luxury brands are losing billions of dollars in China? Their star market is plummeting by 20% in 2024, like a house of cards collapsing after years of stability. In this video, I'm going to tell you the factors behind this radical change and why it marks the beginning of a new era for global luxury. The Chinese economy is transforming the global market in ways few expected. If you want to discover the real reasons for this historic transformation, stay tuned until the end. If you are enjoying the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos. Let's continue. Have you ever wondered how China went from being the savior of the global luxury market to becoming its biggest headache? The answer will surprise you. For years, China was the driving force behind the growth of the global luxury market. European brands saw the Chinese market as an endless goldmine, with constantly growing figures and promises of limitless expansion. However, behind this apparent endless success, a change was brewing that no one anticipated. To understand the magnitude of this turn of events, we must remember what happened during the pandemic. When the Chinese couldn't travel abroad, they started spending huge amounts on luxury goods within their own country. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and other exclusive brand stores had endless lines of customers eager to buy. It seemed like the boom would never end, but now we see that it was just a temporary illusion. This scenario, which seemed eternal, has taken a dramatic turn. In 2024, the luxury market in China has fallen by 18 to 20%, going back to 2020 levels, as if the years of expansion had been a mirage. The consequences for the European giants have been devastating. LVMH, the world's largest luxury group and owner of brands like Louis Vuitton, Dior, and Fendi, has recorded losses not seen since the global financial crisis. Kering, owner of Gucci, has also seen its market value plummet, losing hundreds of billions in capitalization. The most alarming thing is that this doesn't seem to be a simple bump in the road. The third quarter of 2024 showed the worst market performance, with a slight improvement in the fourth quarter thanks to some economic stimulus announcements, but not enough to talk about recovery. The outlook for 2025 is not encouraging either. A flat year is expected for luxury in China, with a particularly difficult first half, followed by some improvement in the second half, driven by possible economic measures. However, the days of the post-pandemic boom are long gone. The behavior of Chinese consumers is also changing. Now they are more rational with their money, preferring to invest in experiences like travel or outdoor activities, rather than accumulating visible luxury products. This 20% drop clearly marks the end of a golden age for European brands in China. The big luxury houses now face a more cautious, selective, and less impressionable consumer, forcing them to completely rethink their strategies in the Asian market. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos. Let's continue. Behind this newfound caution of the Chinese consumer hides a devastating reality: the collapse of the real estate market. Can you imagine waking up one day to discover that more than half of your family's wealth has lost its value? This is exactly what millions of Chinese families are experiencing right now. In China, 70% of family wealth is invested in real estate. These homes represent their main savings method, their retirement plan, and their inheritance for the next generation. For decades, buying property was considered the safest and most profitable investment for any Chinese citizen. But now, that pillar of family finances is crumbling. Prices are falling month after month, generating panic. A typical Shanghai family who bought an apartment years ago now sees its value drastically reduced, wiping out years of effort and sacrifice. This real estate crisis is a massive erosion of the perception of wealth. Chinese families are drastically cutting back on spending. The connection is direct. When your biggest investment loses value, the first thing you eliminate are luxuries. The €3,000 handbag that once seemed like an acceptable whim now seems unthinkable. The storm destroying the luxury market has a second, equally devastating component: youth unemployment. University graduates born after 1990, who for years drove premium consumption, are now struggling to find jobs that match their qualifications. More than half of China's wealthiest shoppers belong to this generation. Today, many are unemployed or underemployed, with salaries far below their expectations. The figures are alarming. While overall unemployment in China remains under control, the situation among young people is critical. This generation, educated during the Chinese economic boom, expected to continue the aspirational lifestyle they saw in their parents and on social media. The impact on the luxury sector is immediate and severe. Young professionals who once bought exclusive items as a status symbol are now radically adjusting their budgets. The worry of paying rent or saving for an uncertain future has displaced the desire to buy premium products. The result? Stores of major brands in Shanghai, Beijing, or Shenzhen, once crowded with young customers, now receive far fewer visits. Those who do enter buy less, look for deals, or just browse without buying. The silent revolution, new values and luxury shame. It's not just that they can't afford luxury goods anymore, it's that many no longer want to be seen with them. On the same streets where young people once competed to show off the latest Gucci or Prada purchases, an unexpected phenomenon known as luxury shame is emerging, forcing the world's most exclusive brands to completely rethink their strategies in the Chinese market. Yesterday, a young executive in Shanghai discreetly tucked her Chanel bag into a plain tote bag before meeting up with friends. "We used to show off our expensive purchases, now we're embarrassed by them," she confesses. This cultural shift is directly connected to President Xi Jinping's policy of common prosperity, which aims for all people to live in relatively similar conditions, both in terms of material wealth and social status. As a result, many wealthy people now avoid public displays of wealth. The transformation of habits is evident. Imagine the scene. A person who would once proudly show off their Louis Vuitton bag now keeps it tucked away in a drawer or prefers to carry a version without visible logos. And it's not because they can't afford it, but because there is now social pressure not to stand out too much in terms of showing off. This shift in mentality is clearly reflected in new consumer preferences. Brands like Lululemon and Arc'teryx, focused on casual sportswear and outdoor activities, have experienced impressive growth in their annual sales on the Chinese platform Tmall. Young people are voting with their wallets, less items with giant logos, and more products that promote a healthy and active lifestyle. Also fascinating is the rise of the dupe market, those high-quality replicas that imitate luxury products but without the prominent logos. Many consumers choose them not only because of their more affordable price, but also because they allow them to blend in at a time when social inequality has become a sensitive issue. Faced with this change, brands are responding in innovative ways. They are adapting their strategies to focus on VIP customers through exclusive exhibitions, private fashion shows, and special concerts. If the mass market contracts, the priority is to keep loyal customers satisfied. Products are also evolving. Recent collections from Gucci or Louis Vuitton include discreet lines with miniaturized or absent logos. The message is clear. Luxury can still exist, but without the need to advertise it. This phenomenon represents a profound shift in Chinese values. The accumulation of expensive goods is being replaced by experiences, travel, photography, outdoor activities, or investment in personal well-being. Status is now measured less by what you own and more by how you live your life. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos. Let's continue. Buy a flight. Why Chinese consumers prefer to buy luxury goods abroad. It seems that while young Chinese people are redefining their relationship with luxury through experiences, another fascinating reality is emerging. When they do decide to buy premium items, they prefer to do it outside of China. The reason is not capricious, but purely mathematical. A price difference so pronounced that it has turned shopping tourism into a real financial strategy. This year, 4 out of every 10 yuan spent by Chinese people on luxury goods were spent outside the country's borders. The figures are clear. Around 40% of total luxury spending by Chinese consumers in 2024 occurred in stores in Japan and Europe, where the same item costs significantly less. For many Chinese, traveling internationally to buy luxury goods is a completely logical decision. With price differences of up to 30%, especially compared to Japan, crossing borders generates substantial savings. A concrete example, that Louis Vuitton bag could cost you 10,000 yuan less in Tokyo than in Shanghai, thanks to the weakness of the yen against the yuan. This situation has directly impacted several markets. Hainan, the Chinese tropical island turned into a duty-free zone during the pandemic, has been the big loser. Its sales have plummeted dramatically with the reopening of borders, losing both visitors and purchase value per person. Meanwhile, Japan has established itself as a favorite destination for these shopping expeditions. In Tokyo, it is common to see long lines of Chinese tourists in front of boutiques in Ginza or Omotesando, taking advantage of every trip to fill their suitcases with premium products at advantageous prices. The phenomenon has also revitalized the business of daigou. professional shoppers who purchase luxury goods abroad to resell them in China. Their activity has grown by approximately 5% during 2024, operating in a legal gray area that Chinese authorities are trying to control. The big brands are trying to counteract these differences by implementing strategies such as purchase limits per customer in countries like Japan, global price alignment for new launches, and registration systems that track purchases internationally to curb both excessive purchases and the activity of daigou. This trend is not new. Before the pandemic, approximately 2/3 of all luxury purchases made by Chinese citizens took place abroad. With the normalization of travel, Chinese shoppers are quickly returning to these pre-pandemic habits. We are witnessing a major shift in the global luxury market. The brands that will make it are the ones that can adjust to the new ways people spend money by focusing on standing out, coming up with new ideas, and making shopping a better experience. Some companies are doing well by building real connections with their customers. Luxury shame is changing what's important to young Chinese shoppers, who now care more about experiences than owning things. Are you ready to think ahead about these changes for your own money? This quiet change will directly impact your money choices. Understanding these trends will help you make smart choices in a market that's always changing. If you are liking the video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more videos.